Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. Now, ISO and I need to get into the lower levels of the sinking ship here. And I guess we have to use the bilge pump. Try and get all this water out of the way. Before you sits a very worn and very non-functional water pump. An ancient hose snakes down from the pump into a drainage channel along the deck. Looks pretty busted. Maybe we could fix it with some of the junk that's littering the deck. Let's examine the pump mechanism. Upon closer inspection, you can see that this pump suffers from clear signs of neglect. Years of near-constant use and deferred maintenance have taken their toll on the machine, and it has recently broken down. Heavy scoring and burn patterns also indicate the reason why the pump isn't working. A blown fuse. ISO, can you fix this? She studies the broken mechanism, frowning. I'm afraid not. If it were a computer, I could probably do something with it, but I'm not much of a mechanic. If we find a replacement fuse, I can slot it for you. Anything else, and you're on your own. Alright, so now we have to try and find a fuse among all this stuff, huh? Well, let's... Oh! Rusted crank wheel. A heavily rusted wheel has been mounted to one of the containers here. The floor grates here look similar to the ones near all the flooding. She examines the grates, frowning. Yeah, I think that all of this might be connected. Hydraulic, maybe? I can see some lines running under the lip of this container. This might be the solution to our flooring problem, assuming that you can get that wheel to budge, that is. Well, I've got a strength of 5, so let's turn the crank. Using all the leverage that you can muster, you grab the wheel with both hands and wrench on it. Rust flakes free and a screech of tortured metal fills the air. Finally, the wheel comes loose with an almighty crack. The follow-through nearly sweeps your feet out from under you. The wheel spins freely for a time, then resistance begins to grow. You continue to crank until you feel something click. Oh, did that work? Did we do the thing? Huzzah! No more water. And we have incoming. Right off the bat. Awesome. Looks like we have 5 rats here, 5 splinters in need of pummeling. Or shooting. Lead poisoning, whichever you prefer. I wish Gobbet was here. We need haste. Well, I do have that... Oh, I don't think the drug is actually going to work in this case. What do I have? A simple magically prepared salve that heals 7 base HP and a further 7 HP per round for 3 rounds. Okay. That's not going to work. So, let's go ahead and... This doesn't cost us anything. Okay, we get light cover. Let's do... Quick strike to this devil rat. He's flanked. Cool. And how about Mana Fist? Gonna do some starting damage here. Steady shot. Oh, I forgot that that takes 2 turns. Ow. Okay. So, these guys aren't doing little points of damage anymore. Well, if they crit, it's bad news. ISO, you are in a bad part of town, ma'am. Yeah, what are our friends gonna do here? Now, we'll cast Killing Hands. That gives us some bleeding, a little bit, something to work with. ISO just killed 1. Probably should have used a med pack there, but what's done is done. Man, they have a hankering for dwarf meat. Yeah, don't run far away. That makes your stuff... Alright, well, you got 1 of them. That's something. There you go, Shan. Now, I probably should have used Quick Strike there. Dang it. Hit for 7. See if we can clink this one down to size. They should be dead in the next turn. We can use a med pack if absolutely necessary. Alright. So we'll Mana Fist for 10. Oh, of course you miss. Why, Sean? Why? Oh, well, never mind. Had to say something. For 3. Now, can you guys finish this rat off? I like to think they're just very, very small and hard to hit. There we are. And they are heading down the ladder. Or at least they're about to. Before we go in, though, let's go ahead and use one of our med packs. I hate to use one so early. Let's just use the basic med kit. And well, we're outside of combat, so let's go ahead and use it. Huh, it's not giving us the option to. Okay, there we can activate it. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and just switch this one over to items locked to a character cannot be traded. Alright, fine. We will act... Wait a minute, we can just do it like this. Derp. ISO. That helped you out a bit. Alright, thank you guys for your help. We'll now head down below. Upon descending the ladder, you find yourself in the cramped confines of a shipping container. Interior walls have been erected of coagulated aluminum, and doors have been cut to allow passage for compartment to compartment. The air down here is ripe with the odor of rotting garbage. Sorry about the state of the place. The rats have kept our work crews too busy to worry about hauling the garbage. But now that you're here, we'll be able to set things right. Kill off those little bastards once and for all. Okay, before we go after the rats, I want you to take me to someone in a position of authority on this wreck. Malvina or Cadmus, say. Or Gobbet. We don't know anyone named Gobbet. And Cadmus is sick. He's in the quarantine wing. He probably doesn't have long. Malvina is below us on the lower deck. She's a busy woman, though. She's the only one who's keeping this place afloat. Well, let's go ahead. Let's just focus on killing the devil rats right now. Well, no. Take us to Malvina. I want a word with her. And follow us. We'll take you right to her. Huzzah. Well, where are they going? Oh, there they go. Off they run. Well, we have no idea where they went, so boo. Local inhabitant. A middle-aged woman with a slouching posture stands with her back to a reinforced door. With a languid motion, she turns her head to stare at you. New folks. I'll be damned. She shifts positions with a grunt. The hell are you doing in here? And we're looking for a friend of ours. Maybe you've seen her. She shakes her head. No. Nope, I ain't seen your friend. Sorry. You don't even know what our friend looks like yet. How can you say for sure that you haven't seen her? No one's come down here today but you. No one's come down here today but you. Not a soul. Didn't see anyone yesterday either, and I can't remember much past then. She smiles, revealing a crumbling set of nicotine-stained teeth. Bad memory. Can't do a thing about it. So, who are you? Name's Lisa. You can call me Lise, though. Everyone on the raft does. And what's behind that door there? She runs her tongue over her teeth. Storage closet. Nothing worthwhile in there. Don't even know why they have me standing watch over the thing. But those are the rules, right? You can't question the rules. Well, I'm questioning them right now. What did the rules ever do for you? Well, they kept me alive, for one. She licks her lips, nodding. That means I'm doing better than some. Did somebody get killed for breaking the rules? She nods slowly. Lots of people. You can't disobey orders, not on a ship at sea. Or a wrestling hulk moored in a bay. The words come muttered under her breath. Or a raft, like your little friend says. She shoots a dark glance at ISO, and her knuckles whiten as her grip on her weapon tightens. She should be nicer about it, though. This wrestling hulk is my home. Fair enough. Let's talk about something else. Sure, just so long as it don't involve breaking the rules. I was just leaving. Interesting. I would like to see what is behind that door. Speaking of doors. Ship inhabitant, inspect. These scratches look like they were made by claws, but they're much bigger than anything that a devil rat could make. Ahoy there. Another squatter, this one more beaten up than most. Bloody bandages wrap his knuckles, and one of his orbital sockets has been crushed, deforming the silhouette of his face. He peers at you with a mixture of suspicion and hostility. Don't recognize you. That means you're new here. His voice comes out in a hoarse croak. You picked a bad place to go sightseeing, outsider. You okay, man? You don't look so good. No, I'm not okay. I'm all beaten up and going blind in one eye. Now tell me what you want so I can be on my way. He spits the words out like venom. What's your name? My name? Ivan. Ivan Fu. That all? Can I go? Looking for a friend of ours. Female orc, about 19 years old. Calls herself Gobbet. Haven't seen her. Sorry. Alright. Well, tell me about the sinking ship. I want to hear your take on what's happening here. It's going to dreck. Rats everywhere, people dying. Smells like a garbage scow. He grunts. That satisfy your curiosity, outsider? Can you tell me any more? It's important. Look, I ain't the damned welcoming committee. I'm just a bloody old man who wants to get back to his squat. If you want to know more about the boat, ask someone else. Fair enough. Such lovely people here. Reminds me of Innsmouth. And... knock knock. We got a terminal here. That's right up ISO's alley. A slender human woman in shabby overalls looks up from her work with a frown. You can't help but notice the scars on her neck. Do I know you? What are you doing on this raft? We're looking for a friend of ours. She's an orc, about 19, goes by the name of Gobbet. Have you seen her? Her eyes narrow. Gobbet? I haven't seen her for years. You've got the wrong raft. Now, unless there's anything else. What's your name? She eyes you warily. I'm nobody important. Just a worker trying to keep this thing afloat. Let's leave it at that, if you please. If you had any close encounters with the devil rats, apparently she has. Yeah, don't go downstairs unless you absolutely have to. The lower decks are absolutely crawling with the things. I'll leave you to your work. Isn't that where Malvina was? Yeah, thanks. And be careful out there. Let's check the terminal. Water drips down from a leak in the ceiling to splatter across the case of this ancient terminal. It's a miracle that the thing is still functional. A blinking green cursor awaits your input. Freeware mail client user Anson Chung Sung. New reg, damned rats, quarantine, and meeting. Malvina Beasley. Ah, we need to talk about these new regulations that you keep handing down. Look, I used to be a merchant marine. I get it. I know how important procedure is on a boat. I know the mindset that you're working against, but some of these new regs are bordering on draconian, and they're getting in the way of our maintenance crews downstairs. Order is a good thing. Micromanaging isn't. So let's talk about it, okay? Second message. Okay, this one's to Cadmus. We've got a hell of an infestation going on in the lower levels, and we need to start doing something about it. Can I count on you and your boys to help me with this? I know that M would frown on what I'm proposing, but she isn't doing anything to help. We have to take matters into our own hands before this gets ugly. Third message. Cadmus. This is exactly what I was afraid of, see? Those bloody rats have eaten us out of house and home. Now that their food supply is gone, they've decided to turn on us. It's pretty clear that Em can't or won't use her magic to fix this, so it's on us to deal with the fallout. I've had the upstairs maintenance crew set aside a couple of containers as a quarantine area / sick room. It's inevitable that we're going to start seeing people getting sick, and we need a place to shelve them. If we don't do this, we're going to have a panic on our hands, and Vita's deaths aren't pretty. Meeting. To Yasmin Huang. Yaz, tell your brother that I got his note and that I'll be there. I don't know what all of this is about, but I have a guess, and if I'm right, well, I'm in. Things have to change around here for all of our sakes. ACS. So there was a mutiny here on the wrecked ship. Or the sinking ship, rather. So let's go in here. And that's not nice. You've got red on you. This squatter is in need of immediate medical attention. Her torso is a gory mess, and an ever-expanding pool at her feet tells you that she's well on her way to bleeding out. She peers at you through the sunken eyes, set into an alarmingly gray face. Please, help me. Well, we'll use a med kit. Hold still. This might sting a little. You crack open a med kit and go to work. Within minutes, you've run a saline drip into her arm and sealed the wound with liquid skin. Final slap patch of adrenaline and painkillers gets the woman up and onto her feet. Shakily, she extends a hand in greeting. I don't know who you are, strangers, but you just saved my life. If I can ever return the favor, you let me know. What's your name, friend? Maria Lamb. My friends call me Sparrow. It's good to meet you, Sparrow. She chuckles. Better luck for me that I met you. If I hadn't, I think I'd bled out by now. How did you get shot? I was a part of the last mutiny attempt. Made it through all right, but I guess that I also made some enemies. I don't know who shot me, but it's a fair bet that someone on this boat is holding a grudge. Well, we're looking for a friend of ours. Have you seen her? She shakes her head. Afraid not. I haven't been able to focus on much since I took that bullet to the gut. I've been fading in and out. If your friend is here, then I hope she managed to avoid the welcoming committee. The two locals that we met topside, you mean? An elf and a dwarf? She nods. I don't trust them, and you shouldn't either. Don't know where their loyalties lie. Interesting. Well, we'll keep it in mind. Thanks for letting us know. She shrugs. Like I said, I owe you my life. Giving you a friendly warning is the least I can do. Well, we'll let you get on with your day. Alright, but if you ever need anything else, you know where to find me. Well, thank you, Sparrow. It is good to have friends here. May need to come back to this. Open the door, just to make sure everything's good here. Another ship in hand. Ooh, what is this? Always inspect before you talk. There are deep gashes in the steel wall of the container. They look like they were made by a blade of some kind. There's no way that rat claws could do this. Alrighty. What's your story? The man standing before you looks cleaner than most of the other squatters on the sinking ship. There are no streaks of grease on his cheeks, and his clothes look freshly laundered. He leers at you as you approach. Well, what have we here? Strangers on our humble raft, exploring her leaking bowels? The man grins, revealing the cavernous gap in his teeth. He hefts a sniffer brimming with cognac in salute. Welcome to the sinking ship, strangers. Now tell me what you want. Who are you? You may address me as Mercurio. He bows slightly, the cognac sloshing in his glass. Bows slightly. At your service. So what do you do on the raft? A bit of this, a bit of that. I'm an artist, or rather, I used to be. An artist and a socialite and a man about town. He spreads his hands. By town, I mean raft, of course. Now I mostly find myself shut away here on the sinking ship's upper deck. I've been festering away here for months, desperate to cling to the finer things in life. He sniffs. Quite the tale of woe, really. That's it? You just loiter around and socialize? A fine and noble profession. He takes another sip, swilling the brandy in his mouth. But you're a street-level operative, no? Blue-collar work? I wouldn't expect you to understand. He pauses for a moment, considering. Speaking of blue-collar work, I have something here that might interest you. Would you like to see it? That depends on what it is. He turns to a nearby table and lifts a battered lozenge of black plastic, and he holds it out to you. It's just a data pad, nothing sinister. This belonged to a maintenance tech that I once knew. I have no idea what happened to her, but she hasn't been seen in weeks. And you're giving this to us, why? To earn your favor. You've come to the sinking ship rather well armed, after all. He shoots a glance at ISO's rifle and raises an eyebrow. I'd rather ingratiate myself to you now, before the bullets start flying. Yeah, we'll take it, thank you. Anytime. Wasn't using the thing anyway. Schematics on that device are all quite arcane to me, I'm afraid. We're looking for a friend of ours. You seen her? Oh, and she ran away from you, did she? He grins. Ran all the way here to our little palace on the water. Have you seen her, or haven't you? Insistent little thing, aren't you? He puts his lips to the crystal of his snifter and slurps up a mouthful of liquor. No, I haven't seen your runaway friend, but if I do run into her, I'll tell her that you're looking. I'll leave you to your business, Mercurio. Now, what exactly was this? A cheap datapad full of instructions and notes from a member of the sinking ship's maintenance crew. That might come in handy. Let's actually see if that'll get us maybe past the door. That would be nice. Nope. Nothing that we can do short of blowing her away, and we don't want to do that. Not really our style. We are open palm rather than closed fist. Some tags. They seem relatively fresh. They haven't been here long. Power outlet. An open junction box juts out from the wall, its cover hanging by a single screw. Wires crisscross over one another in a chaotic jumble, and the whole apparatus appears to be held together with electrical tape. Jury-rigged, like everything else here. She frowns at the tangle of wiring, clucking her tongue in disapproval. That's really sloppy work. You think that in an environment like this, they'd at least try to do some basic waterproofing. She traces the wall-mounted cables that snake out from the box with her eyes, and follows them to their termination point. Looks like this box is feeding power to that door over there. If we were to short it, we might be able to get the thing open. Let's go ahead and use the maintenance datapad. You examine the rat's nest of wires, tracing each connection to its point of origin. Following the instructions on the datapad, you then snip and rewire the system to feed power back into itself. The results of your work are immediate and spectacular. You hear a deafening cracking sound and a blinding flash of light stabs your eyes. Moments later, the hall fills with the overpowering stench of ozone. The overhead lights flutter, and up ahead you can hear the sound of a set of door locks disengaging. Kara, the local up ahead, beckons you forward. It's just up this way, through this door here. As you approach, something catches your eye. A vent in the wall behind the locals. Movement. Something living must be inside. Huh. Let's say nothing. As you watch, the locals continue to wave for you, unaware of what's happening behind them. There's a flurry of motion, and something large explodes out of the vent. Gobbet lands in a crouch, her weapons raised. Don't go in there! It's a trap! Down you go. Oh! So it was a trap, indeed. Alright, so it is time for a quick strike to Kara because she is low. Hiya! And ISO. Probably need to take cover, shouldn't we? Let's take cover. That's the smart thing to do. Oh, please tell me we have Gobbet back on the crew. Nope. She's acting of her own volition. Okay, martial defense. Put me under some light cover. Killing hands. And that's not an unarmed attack, is it? Alright, let's do... Hiya! And now I definitely don't want to move up there. Nice. The bloodied local tosses his gun aside and raises a pair of trembling hands. His eyes have gone wide with terror. I'm sorry. We didn't want to do it. We didn't have a choice. The words come spilling out in a frantic babble. He'd ordered us to. What it? What are you talking about? Explain yourself. I don't know what it is. It talks with Malvina's voice, but it isn't her. Helpless tears stream down his cheeks, clinging to his skin like beads of dew on a leaf. If you want to live, you have to do what it says. I'm gonna let you live. Don't make me regret it. The squatter collapses against the wall, sobbing uncontrollably. Gobbet dusts herself off and paces towards you. Hey, AEs. Hey, Seattle. I don't remember inviting you on this run, but I guess I'm glad you can make it. She jerks her head toward the squatter's ruined body. You're welcome, by the way. Are you alright? We came looking for you. Really? I thought you were visiting the sinking ship for its wonderful food and beautiful views. She flashes you a weak smile. And yeah, I'm okay. Look, I'm sorry about the sudden entrance and everything. I wish that I had time to explain what was going down, but I didn't because, well... She shrugs. Trap. Yeah, you mentioned that. What kind of trap are we talking about? The kind where you end up dead. Look, I don't know exactly what they were planning to do, but I've seen them lead people through those doors before. She gestures toward the heavy double doors at the end of the hall. The people who I watched go in there never came back out again. Not a one. They just scream, and when the doors opened again, they'd be gone. Well, thanks for the warning. She shrugs. Don't mention it. There's a long, awkward pause. Finally, Is0 steps forward. So now that we're all together, do you want to tell us why you came back here all by yourself? We'd have gone with you, Gobbet. All you had to do was tell us. She raises her hands. Yeah, I know, but I figured that this was one on me, and I didn't want to wait another minute. Besides, I had a plan. Yeah? What kind of plan was that? Pretty simple one. All I wanted to do was get the lay of the land, sneak around a little, maybe find my old friends and get some answers. I didn't come here to get into a firefight. It's easier to be quiet solo than it would dragging you two around. No offense. So you've scoped the place out. Fine. Mission accomplished. Do you know what you're doing now? Yeah. This place is fracked. I'm gonna sink it. Wait a second. What? The sinking ship is doomed, Seattle. I could feel it the second I set foot on board. She checks herself. Earlier than that, even. On some level, I think I could feel it back home. That's why I couldn't stop thinking about this place. Whatever is happening here, it's wrong. This whole place feels off to me somehow. Maybe even toxic. I came back to find my friends, Cadmus and Malvina, to check on them. Instead, I found a swarm of man-eating rats, a death trap, and a bunch of squatters who seem intent on killing me. Her tone becomes brisk. So, I'm going to kill them right back, and I'm going to use the scuttling charges that are still embedded in the hull to do that. I've already handled the ones on this level, but I haven't gone down below yet. We need to activate the charges below the waterline if we're going to bring this sucker down. And so that's where you're heading next? Downward? Not quite, on account of the trap. I don't know how to get past it yet. She frowns. Minor setback, right? So my next step was to figure that out. Makes sense to me. Time to go ask some pointed questions, then? She nods enthusiastically. Somebody on this level must know how to get past that thing. I put my money on Cadmus knowing, if we could find him. He was always more of a mechanic than he was a shaman. Well, let's go. Alright, the band's back together. Good stuff. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, and we will be doing a little bit of interrogating and trying to find our way down to the lower levels. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, go ahead and click like down below, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone.